After months, Disney is finally starting to talk about the cancellation of Acolyte, as co-chairman Alan Bergman sat down with Vulture and talked about the reasons for canceling the show. And surprise, surprise, it wasn't because of angry fans or YouTubers who somehow gave bad ratings. There's a much more simpler explanation.
Will be with you.
We're going to hop right into it. Hit that like button as we get started. And here's exactly what he said. He said this: "So as it relates to the Acolyte, we were happy with our performance." We're going to talk about that here in a second. Alan Bergman told Vulture, "But it wasn't where we needed it to be given the cost structure of that title, quite frankly, to go out and make a season 2. So that's the reason why we didn't do that. Period." Why? Because you can't make enough money when you're spending $236 million on a streaming show to get people to sign up just for a few months on a streaming platform that doesn't make enough revenue for it to make sense. $230 million is already approaching what some full-feature movies cost to make, and those at least get box office numbers with the potential of bringing in $1 billion. And so when the eyeballs just quite frankly aren't there, it makes it literally impossible to invest another $200 million into the next season. So naturally it leads to the question then, what about Skeleton Crew? It's getting even less eyeballs than Acolyte got, so will that not have a season 2? Well, first off, it comes in $100 million cheaper than Acolyte costs to produce, and it's getting overall pretty good reviews from most people. So here's what Alan had to say about that. "Skeleton Crew is in process now, so we'll see. We've seen some growth on that, and we'll see how that goes. As you said, the reviews have been excellent on Skeleton Crew, so we'll have to see how that all plays out as it moves forward." Really a non-answer, but he's basically saying, hey, at least it's gotten positive reviews, so we'll wait and see. No commitment one way or the other. And I'm kind of a firm believer that they're going to take a chance. Even though it may not have gotten as many eyeballs, they recognize that viewership can grow over time. So then how does a show like Andor get a second season if it too had a very high budget yet didn't have the eyeballs? Well, that was agreed upon as part of kind of the whole thing, that a season 2 was a package deal as they did it. And Alan even comments on Andor. In terms of what's coming up, we have Andor Season 2, which we're really excited about. It's excellent. I've watched all the episodes, and it's a fantastic season. And then we have Ahsoka Season 2, which Dave Filoni is leading. He doesn't say much more about that, but that's really what's going on. He also even hints that there's other things in the works that aren't yet being announced, and they'll announce them when they're ready to and when they're good enough to get the green light going forward. I kind of hope they're going to pull back from streaming shows and only focus on the box office, because I think that's the only way to reclaim fans, is to put out movies. It's the only way you're going to get people who aren't going to subscribe to Disney Plus, because quite frankly, there's really not enough reasons to subscribe any longer. Even Bluey isn't going to be making any more seasons, or at least the original creator has said. So the biggest streaming show that's been on that platform is also giving families another reason to unsubscribe from the platform. So what's going to happen? Personally, I think Andor Season 2 looks fantastic. I know they've put a lot of money into it, so they are going to hype it up, but I think it's actually going to be really good. And in regards to Skeleton Crew, they spent $100 million less on it, so I think it makes more sense that they could do a Season 2. They could get 2 seasons of Skeleton Crew for the price of probably what it cost to do Acolyte, plus all the marketing and everything else that came with it. What did Alan mean by we were happy with our performance? Our, not the actors or actresses, but our, meaning the way that Disney went about putting that show forward. He was happy with our performance. He can't be happy with the show's performance because not enough people watched it. I think what he's saying is we did the best we could with what we were given. We did everything that was possible. We're happy with the way we marketed it. We're happy with the way we pushed it. We did everything to let a show succeed. We tried it all, and it just didn't work. and so we're not going to give it a second season. I think it's just quite that simple. What else could they have done to make the show viable? They got enough eyeballs at the premiere and the second episode. It's the fact that viewership completely dropped off a cliff. And so what does that tell me? What does that tell you? Well, honestly, what that means is there were enough people interested in the subject matter. The show was hitting the top 10 streaming when it first started. People wanted to see what it was going to be. So from a idea standpoint and a marketing standpoint, the eyeballs were there to begin with. But the problem was the product that was put forward just was not good enough. People didn't keep coming back. People didn't keep turning on for the next episode the next week. They forgot about it. They moved on. I think this is the weekly release schedule problem. If a show doesn't click and doesn't connect, people are out. They're going to go do other things. Why? Because there's so many other things to engage with. They don't need to waste their time with this show, especially when you get drip-fed 30-minute episodes week after week. You're not really going to commit your time to something that's not worth it if you don't think there's a mystery or something to be pulled into that you want to keep watching. And that's how I feel with Skeleton Crew. There's been some things that I haven't loved about that show, but the overall mystery and intrigue and wonderment is there. So I keep watching because I want to see what's going to happen next. I never really had that feeling with Acolyte. I honestly turned it on and went, here we go. Another episode that I have to watch, and now let's see how people react to it, because that's really what ended up happening. But that's what's been so fun again about the Acolyte. And if you felt the same way about that show, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be releasing quite soon some of my theories around what's going on with at Aten and at Akron, and particularly the differences between those planets. I think tell us a lot more of the story than most people are talking about. And when that video's live, it'll be right here. You can click on it. Thanks for joining. Make sure you turn on that bell for notifications, and I'll see you on the next one.